Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys I'm going to be profiling for you an update of my Lightsworn deck. Yes. Now this is not a Twilight Swarm deck. This is a Lightsworn deck. It does use some of the Twilight Swarm cards in the deck that came out of Code of the Duelist recently, but it is not focused on the Twilight Swarms. It is focused on using pretty much Minerva Swarm with a little bit of the Twilight Swarm engine thrown into it. So that's the way the deck functions, like Minerva Swarm but updated with some of the Twilight Swarm cards. I believe the deck is 48 cards. You could make a 60 card variation if you wanted to, but I wanted to try to do precise milling a lot instead of just chuck your whole deck in the graveyard and go off. And hopefully you draw grass is greener. But I made it between, I was thinking 48. I was thinking about putting it to 50, but I put it to 48. That way I could mill the cards I wanted to, have a little bit better precise milling to some extent. But without further ado, let us get started. So first off, you run your 3 Judgement Dragon. Judgement Dragon is so easy to get off in this deck because I think we run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 plus, I think, names. So you will always, usually after turn 1 or turn 2, have Judgement Dragon live. The deck is a lot more monster heavy than spell heavy, because I want the monsters to get in the graveyard, be able to do things with them, either with snow or be a name for Judgement Dragon or whatever the case may be. I want to go into my exceeds, my synchros quickly. So for that reason we run a lot of different names, because you always want Judgement Dragon to be live, especially if you're running snow, because I've seen before when people run a smaller name count for Judgement Dragon, they'll have the situation which arises where they'll be like, oh, I can go for game, but do I need the snow? Because if I banish the names, then I'm not going to be able to drop Judgement Dragon. So you got to pick your poison. While in this build, you're always going to be able to drop a Judgement Dragon, usually after turn 2. After turn 1, you'll be able to drop it usually, or turn 2, depending upon the situation. But you can easily set up for Judgement Dragon and even go for multiple Judgement Dragon in the deck. So definitely the boss monster still in my mind. Next, your 3 Lumina. Lumina does so many things. It helps you go for your level 6 synchro plays, your level 7 synchro plays, your level synchro plays for your 6s and 7s, and it also helps you go for your level 3 exceed plays as well. So you can go for Dante or other level 3s you need to go for. But very, very useful card. Plus it helps get dead cards out of your hand, so if you have dead wolves or dead Felizes in your hand, you can pitch them for free and bring back your monster. Then you run your 3 Wyern, one of the other great guys. Wyern's amazing. He can help you get over things, he can help you do milling to get more cards engraved. You can bring it back with Lyla, you can normal summon him. Overall, amazing card. Then we run your triple wolf. Like I said, this is based on Minerva Swarm somewhat, so you definitely run your triple wolf. You don't want to clunk with this card, but we do run things like Goblinburg, so you can get out of that situation if your hand does clunk, to go into your Minerva to start milling, things of that nature. But definitely triple wolf, amazing, helps you go for your level 4 exceed plays, as well as your level 8 synchro plays, so you can go for Omega, things of that nature. And also a generic beat stick, if anything, which helps go for game. Then you run 2 Feliz. It's a name, it helps remove things. I like it overall. I've honestly thought about cutting it back down to 1, because it does clog, and its effect is amazing, but I haven't used it a lot lately for some reason. But I still think I'm going to run 2 of it at the end of the day, but you could try it out. But double Feliz helps blow things up and whatnot, so yep. Then we got your double Lyla. A lot of people like running just 1 Lyla. which I understand. I mean, normal summoning her sucks. You're not going to get the effect off usually. But what I have found is I'm using her for a lot of Exceed plays. Either for going for Minerva or other rank 4s. I'm using her. So what I'm usually doing is sometimes I'm going Lyla, bait out your back row, do that. Maybe I got some things in graveyard, bring it back. There's different things you can do, but I like it sometimes because I can bait out back row with this before I go off, which is something I've been doing a little bit. But I definitely like it because of a name. It helps with rank 4s, gets rid of back row, etc. I still like it as a 2 of. Then your 1 ofs, your Garoth, which puts in work, your Jane, which puts in work. Aaron is there for a name, but sometimes it does help out, and it's a level 4, so that helps with synchro plays and a whole bunch of different other things. And then we run 1 Maiden. A lot of people don't run Maiden and Aaron anymore. You could cut this. This I like because I get the extra mills, which does come in handy, and it helps me go for Coral Dragon. So if I have the Lyla and whatnot and I got a brick hand, I can go into this and start pitching things out of my hand to pop things with Coral Dragon, which is kind of cool. So I'll do like that. But those are your 1 ofs. Now let's go into the Twilight Swarm engine. You run 1 Punishment Dragon. You only need to run 1 in this build because it's not a Twilight Swarm build. It's just a Light Swarm deck that uses the Twilight Swarm engine along with Snow. If Snow was to get hit down to 1 of, I would probably change this deck completely, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Then next you run your 3 Lumina Twilight Swarm Shaman. This card works very well with the deck. I love the artwork, by the way. My gosh, it looks gorgeous. I know it was kind of expensive as a secret rare, but whew, that artwork looks gorgeous. But she helps you with once you go off with Snow. So that's the one thing I really like about her. If you've set up your Snow properly, so you've banished your stuff, then you can start bringing it back with Snow. So you can do that. And Punishment Dragon as a 1 of is very useful because it can help you recycle your deck. So if you've gone through your deck and you're getting low on resources, then you just go Punishment Dragon, put all your monsters back in your deck, and just continue to mill in a good old-fashioned way. So I like it. But Shaman works good. And the last one we want, the last Twilight Swarm I do run, and I'm still testing this one out compared to Ryko and Sorceress Lumina, I think it is called, the one with the witch's hat, is I'm trying out Jane. Now, people don't like Jane a lot because she says target monsters that have stars. So that sucks. But the reason I like her is because of this effect I'll read here. Once per turn, you can banish 1 Lightsworn monster from your hand or graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster on the field. It loses attack and defense equal to the banished monster's level times 300. Okay, into the end of this turn. So it's not permanent, it sucks, but sometimes it does help getting over things as an 18 beater. But because it sets up for this, it sets up for Shaman, that's why I like it. And it sets up for Punisher Dragon. Because I can be like, okay, I got enough Light Swarms engraved, I got enough names for JD, but I got these, you know, shamans that are doing nothing for me right now. I mean, they're completely dead to me. So I can be like, okay, what can I do here? What can I do to get out of this clunky hand? I'll be like, okay, normal summon, target, banish a Light Swarm from grave, okay, run over something, get around it, fine, it dies, next turn, go off. Banish another Light Swarm, bring one of them back. There you go. It makes this card less dead, because if you're just waiting on Snow to banish things and then use this, you have problems. There's other ways you can, you know, bring banished stuff back. That is true. But this is just another way of banishing things and then using this to bring it back. And then it sets up for Punishment Dragon sometimes as well. So, yeah. That's the Light Swarm engine right there I run. Works out fairly well. The Twilight Swarm engine, excuse me. Then we run your Triple Snow. Amazing. One day I'll get my super rares, but I still got the commons. Yeah, I love them. They look very nice. The Snow is amazing in this deck. It brings the Twilight Swarm and the Light Swarm stuff together really well. And if it wasn't for snow, I don't know how this deck would function. Probably not function at all. It's not. I'm not saying it's your be-all, end-all card. Not by a long shot. That would be JD. But it does help out with the plays. It helps go for rank 4s. It helps stop big monsters by, Book of Mooning them. So overall, amazing card. Then we run your triple Eclipse Wyvern. Now this works for both Punishment Dragon and JD. And you can banish it through snow. So you banish this, you send a JD, you get this to grave, you banish it, a JD. When it gets banished by snow, you get the JD back to hand, and usually by that turn, you've always have enough cards in grave, and then you can just set the JD up, or you can be like your opponent has to play around the JD in your hand. And they may not even know you have triple JD or something of that nature. You never know. But I definitely like it as a 3-of. You can also banish Punishment Dragon, which is also nice as well. So you can also, if you're getting low on resources, you've milled through a lot of your deck, you'd be like, okay, banish the Punishment Dragon now. That way you can recycle stuff. And then we run your double Goblinburg. Goblinburg helps you go for your level 4s. It helps unclunk your hand if you get a clunky hand. And so overall, I like it as a 1-of. And it's also snow fodder as well. By the way, this card should get a holo reprint one of these days. This card has been around for years, and Kageto Kage got one before this. Such a shame. Super reprint, please. Whatever. Next, we got your double Honest. You still run a lot of lights in the deck. It's honest. What can I say? Your 1 Trick Clown, because it's Trick Clown, and you can bring it back, go for rank 4s, go for level 8s, whatever. Then for your spell cards, triple Solar Recharge, amazing draw card. Then you run your double Charge of the Light Brigade. I love Charge of the Light Brigade. I love that artwork. I wish I had a secret, but I don't. Whatever. Next, 2 Galaxy Cyclone. A lot of people don't like Galaxy Cyclone. I got it. Cool. But it's something that if I mill it, it's going to be still alive in grave, and it helps me get around back row, things of that nature. So it's nice overall. In an age nowadays where field spells are also more prevalent, yes, you don't want to destroy them. I got that. But still, it does come in handy against certain decks, so I do like it. But yeah, that's just me. You can take it out, run something out. Usually if I'm playing a mirror match, well, not mirror match, excuse me, if I'm playing against a tournament, I'll switch those out for whatever I'm facing against the meta. So if I'm facing against a dark deck, Dark Imprisoning Mirror, or whatever the case may be. So those usually come out for side decks in case. Then for your 1-ofs, your Foolish, your Rhoda, your Sack Charge, Monster Reincarnation. Monster Reincarnation's amazing. It helps get dead cards out of your hand for things that are in the graveyard. Very good card. Foolish, send your wolf to grave, go for level 8 Synchro Plays, succeeds. Rhoda, Goblinburg, whatever. There's a whole bunch of different targets. Soul Charge, you guys should know what it's done. Since this card came out for Light Swarms, it's been amazing. Even back when it was at Dragon Ruler Swarms. Yeah, when this was at 3-of. And then lastly, we run 1 Lightsworn Judgment. This card's good as a 1-of. I've seen people run double of it, triple of it. I only like it as a 1-of. It's good if you mill it. It sucks if you draw it. But you can pitch it for other things, worst case scenarios. So, yeah, I do like it as a 1-of in the deck. Now on to the extra deck. We run your double Minerva. It's essential to the deck, you need it. You run, for your other level 4s, your Utopia package. Utopia 39, Utopia Prime, and Utopia the Lightning. Pretty straightforward. And lastly, you run your Castell, because Castell is multi-dexterous and can do a whole bunch of different things for you. So that's all your level 4s right there. Definitely, you could run triple Minerva, but I like double. I've only seen any 2 ever. Then for your level 3s, you run 1 Dante, 1 Levier the Sea Dragon. You will need this in the deck. You can bring things back. It's amazing. Once you go off with snow, this card is necessary. So, that, and then 1 Super Quantum Mega Grease. Why do I always call him Grease? Super Quantum Mega Beast Grand Pulse. So those are your level 3s you run. These two are essential. This is just decent to have sometimes if you don't know what you're going to make. Coral Dragon, it's still useful in the deck. I still like it as a 1-up because I'm running the level 3 tuner. Your level 7 tuners, Michael and Clearwing. These are your level 7s you can run. They just are helpful in different situations necessarily. For your level 8s finally though, you run double Omega. You could run triple Omega, but I only seem to ever make 2. And just because I can, and it sometimes comes in handy, I do run 1 Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. If you can't tell what that is, that's Scarlight. I don't know if you could see, but that's Scarlight Dragon Archfiend. If you can't tell that ghost rare there. But the double Omega, definitely run double Omega. It's cheap now, you should be able to get it. So that is the deck, guys, in a nutshell. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. The deck is pretty straightforward. Like I said, if snow was to get hit, we gotta change the deck up. But overall, the deck is fairly cheap nowadays, actually, with all the reprints it's gotten. The most expensive card in the main deck, really, if you're asking me, I looked up the prices actually before I did it, is actually Shaman. That's the most expensive card in the main deck right now. Everything else is dirt cheap because it got reprinted in Battles of Legend, and it's gotten reprinted a lot of other times before. The Minervas in the extra deck and Omegas are probably one of the most expensive things. You really just need, if you're bare bones trying to build the extra deck, I would say Minervas, Omegas, Michael, Dante, and Levier. Those are like your bare minimum extra deck monsters you need. Literally, like the main things I go for is this, excuse me, so that's Clearwing, my bad. Omega, Michael, those are the main things I go for right there. Like, usually. Like every other duel I'll go for one of these. Something, or double of these, just right here. So that's your essential stuff right there to go into. But the deck's fairly cheap. And I love it. I've always loved playing against this, playing this deck. It's kind of like a luck-based deck. Kind of reminds me of the GX era when it originally came out. I mean, originally when this deck came out, I didn't like it. I called it Sack Swarm back in the day, but that was years ago. But then I came around to liking it because JD's got reprinted and whatnot. But yeah, I enjoyed the deck very much. I hope you guys enjoy the deck profile. It's a fun deck. There's different variations you can run of Lightsworns out there, guys, if you want to know. So you can look at different deck profiles out there. You have a handful of them. You got Twilight Swarm now. You got Zombie Swarm. You got Twilight Swarm based on the old decks where it's literally just running light and dark type of monsters. So you can go for things like BLS, which you could run in the deck, but you run a higher dark count. So you got Zombie Swarm, which is very popular and has had recent success, I know of. But this is the variation I wanted to go for. You have Pure Light Swarm, then you got Pure Twilight Swarm. As I'm trying to explain here is, there's a lot of different variations when you're playing Light Swarm. But if you want to, you can go check other deck profiles out for that. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this deck profile, and until next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and go Light Swarms.